Hello, hello. Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome to the stream. Any questions you've got, put them in the chat. Just check that we are live on all platforms. Not that anyone watches me on Kick. Right, nice. Right, so for anyone that has interacted with this account on Telegram, it is not me. It isn't me. So if this guy has inboxed you, DM'd you, just ignore it. I don't DM anyone. The only way that you can interact is if you want to join the 10K fast track, in which the link is in the description. But other than that, I do not DM anyone. Okay? Do not DM anyone. Today, we're going to talk about these liquidity pools. Currently, I'm running this one off $4,380, earning around, this is varied today, 365, what's that, 8-9% currently on. Doing pretty well so far. And I did share my results previously, which was on another YouTube post, which was this. In April, around 6.67%. I earned back on my DeFi portfolio that I share for you guys. That is roughly 6.67%. To put that in perspective, 10K is 667 a month. 25K earns $1,600, $1,700-ish a month. 50K earns nearly 3.5K a month, which would be more now based on the rate that I'm getting here. These are slightly tighter ranges, slightly higher APR. Why am I doing that? Because I'm going to grow this to 10K. And there's different strategies that you can do with DeFi pools depending on the size of your portfolio. If you're a guy with 100K, are you going to be running these tight ranges? Are you going to be in these pools? Maybe not. You might be in an ETH USDC pool, BTC pool, for example, something easier. But the point of today's stream is to show you beginner pools that you can test that aren't ridiculous. And I mean ridiculous by the low cap coins, stupid APR that you're going to get wrecked in, right? And again, before you try any of this, you need to do your research on anything I discuss in this video or stream. So where do we start? So we'll look at a few different chains, a few different possibilities, what you can do with your crypto. And I've seen a comment from someone already. So we're going to cover that as well. SUI USDC. Now, what you see in front of you is the VFAT protocol or platform, whatever you want to call it, website. This covers probably the largest amount of liquidity pools available. And what I mean by that is it covers the largest area in terms of the amount of liquidity pools it aggregates together. So these liquidity pools aren't actually based on VFAT. So VFAT isn't where the liquidity pools are based. It's an aggregator. So it pulls through the information from external sources. So there may be farms and pools from Uniswap, Eurodrone, for example. These are all the chains. These are all the protocols it covers: Eurodrone, BaseSwap, Beam, BMX, Camelot, Cleopatra, Cypher, Equalizer, Etherex, G-Liquid, right? But to find those pools directly, for example, this is Uniswap, and these are all the ones that it pulls through directly on Uniswap. It's easier to go on VFAT and search them all, depending on what your preference is. Now you'll ask, what is the difference between a farm and a pool? A farm, you earn back the native token of that platform. So for example, if you were to go into this pool here, which is Wrapped ETH, MS ETH, you would earn back Eurodrome, Euro. That's what you earn back, Euro token. If you're in this pool on PancakeSwap, you're going to earn Cake. If you're on this platform here, you're going to earn it back actually in 3 tokens that are based on Avalanche, Furrow. So it will give you an overview of what you earn back on here. Yeah. With the pools, you earn a direct result of what you put in. So i.e. in this ETH USDT pool, you earn USDT and ETH. So let's begin. So simple pools. So for a start, you could do BTC, right? Because it's the largest asset. The issue with BTC is with Bitcoin, the pools don't generate a great deal of return. And it is, I'd say, more preferable from the guys that are in the 10K fast track in our group to take a loan against the Bitcoin because they don't want to sell it and then use that cash to generate more yield in the pools. That is the preferred method of extraction. So we're going to look at ETH pools. So all you would do is put in ETH, sort by the TVL, so total value locked, and you can see all the ones that are available. What you need to be aware of, though, is the chain that the platform, sorry, the chain that the pool is on. So you see it some are on base chain, some are on Binance Smart Chain, some are on other chains. It just depends on what the majority of your coins are on, right? What chain are they on? Because the idea is you come to use liquidity pools, and what you're doing is using the assets you've already got in an ideal scenario to then generate more of those assets because you believe in them. So you may believe in ETH, you may believe in Solana, you may believe in SUI, you may believe in whatever coin you may believe in, you can then generate more back off using liquidity pools. Okay. Now, what you would do then is if you've got ETH, let's say you've got ETH on base chain. So you'd search ETH and you say, right, what have we got available on here? So on base chain, we've got a wrapped ETH USDC one here, 5% width. So we may want to change that a bit more. Yeah. And then you can see how the APR is affected. Right. Now, people will say, what width shall you put? And it's impossible for me to give a width for every single pair in every single scenario because it depends on, one, how much you've got in your portfolio. Guys with higher portfolios tend to be able to do better widths because they just want to set and forget. 2, it depends on your risk tolerance, what you're comfortable with. 3, how much you want to mess around with it, how much you want to have maintenance on that particular pool. So it depends. There's too many scenarios for me to say this is the exact thing, because I'm different than you. What I'm playing with here, the 4K portfolio I mentioned, I'm on tighter ranges. If I was playing with 100K, those ranges will be far higher. Yeah, you understand? So this particular ETH one here, we've got 12% width. We could change it a bit more. 46% width, 16% width, 46% APR. And it's going to earn in between 2,100, 2,500 ETH. It's going to be printing a yield back, an ROI. Okay? ETH has a good selection here. What you can do is, if you're like, well, it's too hard to find on here. Right, I get you. So if you want, say, minimum APR, 50%, you can change that. And again, you can filter it by the chain that you're on. So maybe like, right, well, I've only got native ETH, right? So then it'll bring up all the ones that are native to ETH. Yeah. So you could click on this, for example, 21% width, 58% APR, and you can play around with that a bit. But you know that you can use your native ETH. You don't have to do any swaps between any different chains. Then you can use it, drop it in this pool, and that's all you do. Right? You enter the pool on here, deploy your asset. If you've got native ETH, then you can go straight in and add whatever you want to. I always say, if you want to enter a particular type of pool, try with some small amounts first. And then after you've entered the small amounts, you observe the APR, then you can go from there. Hi to Sava. So that's ETH on the farms. You would then do the same on pools. And again, if we put the same filters in, if you just add native ETH, go on there, and then it comes up with more. So you could compare some farms, you could compare them to pools. And again, with the rewards, like I've said before, it's up to you what you do. You've got your assets, you put them in a pool, you earn the yield, and it's up to you what you do with the yield. I'm not your boss. I'm not, do you know what I mean? You're the boss. This is the good thing about DeFi. You make the rules, right? I show you what's available to do. Then it's up to you to take the information that I've told you and then use that for your advantage. Yeah? So in that particular scenario, you may have some ETH. You supply the asset to VFAT. We've seen the pool, 2 pools, a farm and a pool we've identified here. Yeah? Deposit in there, start earning. Then it's up to you what you do with it. Do you want to compound it back into the pool? Yeah. In that case, all you need to do is click on the harvest button. So if we go back to here, it's this little tractor, and that would either take it out or compound it and put it back in. Yeah. So either compound it back into the pool goes up, earn more fees, or you harvest it, goes back into your wallet, and you can do what you want. Swap it for BTC, spend it on whatever you want, or diversify your assets, put it in stocks, shares, whatever. Yep. So that was Ethereum. Now, it does cover a lot of assets on VFAT, but not all the assets. This is Orca, which is specifically for Solana. I know a few guys who have Solana. So the same type of thing on here. If you're looking for the pools that have the most money in, it's always filtered by TVL, which is the total value locked, right? Another thing to note is any stablecoin pools are not really going to earn any money because they're stable, right? You can see a yield 0.1%. So we go on the Solana USDC pool. It's a bit easier to see visually with this particular one. I don't think at the moment the yield is as good with Solana, to be honest with you. But again, if you've got Solana, you want to earn on it. All you do is go on here. You would select your range based on the previous history. Let's say you have 10K. This scenario here, $671 a month with this 10% range. It's quite tight, that. So you can adjust it slightly. 20% range, $400 a month. Yeah, off 10K, which isn't too shabby. And I talk about, you know, a guy with 110K can afford to just move this well out here. And off 10K, 100K, $1,700 a month, and you've got wider ranges for this particular pool. Obviously, it varies depending on the pool. Yeah, and it's a bit simpler to see everything, how it works with Orca, right? Same process, test your pool, connect your wallet, off you go, right? One thing I do want to comment on as well is a guy commented on one of the videos, and he said that with DeFi, you're always going to get rugged because the devs have backdoors into everything. And if that was the case, obviously there's been hacks and stuff, but if that was the case, you'd see a hell of a lot more hacks than we have now, right? And that is again why you go into different things. So I've got, you know, two different pools here. You may be on different chains like this, but at the end of the day, I find that guys like this have this mentality where they find excuses for everything. You know, I have a friend like this where he always tries to find the negative in every single situation. And I was a running joke with him that, you know, if he was deserted on an island with 100 Playboy models, right, all the food and water, the sunshine, everything, there's still something he would find negative about it, right? And that is the thing. There's always someone that is going to find the negative with when you're trying to teach DeFi or even crypto, right? Imagine when you first told your friends about Bitcoin, there's always that negative guy that says, you know, whatever comment they want about it not being real, it's fake, set by the government. What if Satoshi moves his original thing? There's always a what if with everything, absolutely everything. But at the end of the day, if you don't take any kind of risk, you ain't going to win in life, in my opinion. So the guy in the comment section who is trying to find a way to poo-poo it, he's probably a loser who has never taken any risks in his life. And I doubt that he lives in a nice neighborhood in a and isn't living in a basement. But anyway, so if we go back to a question we had here, this is it. Yeah. If you have SUI, Turbos is the same as Orca is to Solana. And it's the same type of process where you would go on pools, and then you would find the applicable pools and go into it. But again, you've got to enter pools that you feel, in your opinion, are not going to get rugged. Because I spoke about a coin that went crazy, and a lot of people were getting ridiculous APRs on this coin, Rave. So what people were doing is when this was first popping off, they go on pools. Let's take our, I think our parameters are on. Right. I don't know if it's still on here. So here you go. These were about 5,000% in the Rave coin. And this is what happens when you go low cap. This. So it's okay when you're getting lots of this coin pumping, but what's the point in earning it if it's just dumping? And this is how people waste money in the other aspect. Yeah. By getting involved in these, low TVL, you know, and it's going to go out of range quickly because Rave isn't going to hold up against ETH if it's doing this. So what I would say is what you're going to find as you go lower down the altcoins is you're going to find more shitcoin pools, to be clear. Right? You can see them already on here. I mean, I don't know what some of these coins are, and they may be offering attractive APRs, for example. So let's look at this one here, Cetus and Sui. If we put it in, here you go already. Security incident has been reported. I don't know how old this is. This seems to be around quite a bit. But again, $26 million market cap, rank 755. Do you really want to put your hard-earned money in that? So it's like, you know, is it better to stick to what you know? So we've got a Sui USDC pool. Again, it's the same type of scenario. Adjust that, deposit it, and you're off. Yeah. And again, I've said this before, what you'll find is automated market makers like this, where it'll just rebalance your crypto to oblivion. So what it'll do is the idea is it just automatically keeps rebalancing your crypto DeFi pools over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you actually end up with no crypto left. That's the unfortunate aspect. It'll just keep rebalancing. You have no crypto left. And because it's like automated, it doesn't really actually care if you lose money. That's the harsh reality. So you're always better, no matter what platform you go on. And I'm not necessarily saying you only go on to, you know, the ones I've shown. There may be others, but just make sure you don't go on anything that's automatically rebalancing for you because it will lose you crypto. Yeah, it will lose you crypto, unfortunately. And what you can do as well, like I mentioned before, if you want to vet any of these platforms for total value locked, how big they actually are, because you might not be sure, DeFi Llama has the best data as such. So we mentioned Turbos before, which is the main one for Sui. There you go. You see the history of it, how long it's been around, 4.45 million. But you'll see, compare it to something like Uniswap, 3.5 billion. So you see the size difference immediately with and how long it's been going Uniswap, which is one of the biggest. Again, if you look at mine, which I'm using, we're on Aerodrome. So we go back over to here. 384 million. So nearly 10x more than Turbos still. And it gives you the metrics here as well, what it's doing, etc. And then you can factor that into your risk tolerance. And like I said, I can't do the risk tolerance for you. It's up to you. Depending on the size of your portfolio, how much you want to put in. If you were to do exactly what I'm doing here, you could see if you did a 10x, that'd be 43k, earning 3,600 a month. But again, this will need more. This particular DeFi portfolio will need more maintenance than if you had 100k and you were just earning in a pool with wider ranges. Yeah, that is it. That's what you've got to be wary of. There's many ways to play this, but it is up to you how you play it. There's not many scenarios that you can do. This is why we have guys in the 10K fast track. We have an onboarding call. We go through the crypto, show them what's available, then they can go from there. Because it's that in depth sometimes with what people want to do with their crypto. I can't tell you if you want to spend your profits, reinvest your profits. I don't know if you're saving for something. I don't know if it's for your retirement. I don't know if you're 18 years old, you've got 50k off mummy and daddy, and you want to just stick it in a DeFi pool and earn 1 to 2k a month to travel Thailand. I don't know, so that's your own prerogative to figure out what your strategy is, how much crypto you want to deploy in it, what's your risk tolerance in the pools, what coins you want to accumulate. That's all down to you in terms of what you believe will do well. I like Kita, I like Aave, I like Ethereum. That's why these are my pools. I've got tighter ranges because I've got 4.3k that I'm going to grow up to 10k as fast as possible. Yeah. So my goal for this portfolio and to show you on the channel is to just compound it and grow it up to 10k as fast as possible. And then I can I am documenting it week by week, and I can show you Matt's gone from 4 to 10k on here. And unfortunately, people will watch this and 6 months will go, they're watching the stream, the total deposit balance will be a lot higher. And the person watching will be like, you know what, which I actually did something. Instead of just watching Matt week after week and doing nothing, which I actually watched and took action with some of this information. Because that's all you need to do is take action. And if you take action, that's better than 99% of people in crypto who will just think that it's going to be altcoin season again. And don't get me wrong, if we look at the market at the moment, it's looking good. I've put on a couple of trades myself, to be honest with you. I've got a long on Solana and I've got a long on Bitcoin. I think it's going to go a bit higher at the moment. So got a decent amount of profit. Don't know if you can see this. This is where we're at the moment. So yeah, if you want to, if that's your bag, I know it's not everyone's, but I may as well share it anyway. I am working with WEEX. Link in description for them. You can earn up to 30k in rewards. Non-KYC exchange. If that is your bag, link in description. If it's not, fair enough. What I will say is, if you're starting DeFi, there's some essential things that you'll need to do in DeFi, in my opinion. One of them is you'll need to do this. Track your transactions. If you're in DeFi, there's a lot of things happening with you deploying in pools, maybe borrowing Bitcoin, earning income, harvesting yield, reinvesting yield, right? And these are all transactions. If you want to pay your taxes, I'm not going into that debate. You need to just track what you're doing. I use Coinly, and with that, it's literally you put in your wallets. It's not going to do anything with it. It just reads the wallet like anyone can read anything online. And then it'll just track the transactions, generate a report at the end of the year, and then you can just file your taxes. Everyone asks what I do. I have an accountant, so all I literally do is printed off, well, not printed off. I download the PDF for HMRC, send it to my accountant, and then they do what they do and send me a bill at the end that I have to pay. There you go. And then what you want to do as well is you want to track what you've actually earned. Yep. So these are the profits taken. About $280 for March and April. I've not done much in May. I've still got some to take, obviously, you can see on here. Hoping to get around this month, so obviously I can document what we're getting to. Going to DCA in at the end of the month as well. We're going to grow this as fast as we can. And of course, what people don't forget is, what people forget is the compound effect. I'll just show you. I mean, this is a bit of a, teaching you to suck eggs, kind of, but, this happens in these pools, especially when you're compounding your earnings. So the compound effect in money, often called compound interest, is the process of earning returns on both your initial principal and the accumulated interest from the previous periods. It causes investments to grow exponentially rather than linearly, acting like a snowball that gathers more and more the longer it rolls. Yeah. And the way to think of this, right? I was earning 6.67% last month, right? So you've got to think, let's just say the interest is 5% a month. We know we can get more than that because you can literally see it on the screen, and I've documented it. We know we can get more than 5%. But let's say you had 10K portfolio. You earn 5% on that. That's $500 on your 10K. Yep. The next month, your portfolio is $10,500. Then you earn 5% on that. Yeah. And you can see how month by month by month, this is starting to add up, right? So you earn that month, is it 550 you earn, or is it 525? I'll show you good masses. Yeah. So first month, you got 10K. Second month, 10,500. Third month, 11,205. And it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Next month, 11,576. So you can see by the end of the year, it just keeps going and going and going and going. And if you've got a higher principal than that, the APR fluctuates higher than that, which it is, which it does quite often, depending on the volume. Then your 10K by the end of the year is going to be significantly higher than if you just held it and did nothing. Someone could have 10K worth of Solana. We could get to the end of the year, and that 10K could literally just be worth, either less, or let's say it stays around the $100 mark. Start the year at 10K and the year at 10K, when you could have actually accumulated more Solana as the months have gone on throughout the year. Yeah. And that is the harsh reality for a lot of people in crypto. There's a lot of false dawns, and I've shown this chart a lot. There's the 3 previous bull runs from the Bitcoin halving to the top of the market, 77 to 78 weeks every single time. I'm sure everyone has seen that meme of the guy. Where is it? I'll just type this in. I don't know if this will happen. So this is it. So because the halving is roughly the same time every 4 years, it's roughly 77 to 78 weeks from the Bitcoin halving to the top of the market. So the pattern just repeats. It's literally what we've seen every time. Yeah. So here's the next one. And again, you could measure it from this all-time high to the next one. 1,000. It's at least, let's see, let's get this, guys. If it's going to be the same. There. So we're talking, if it happens like that pattern there, if we're talking Bitcoin halving to top of the market, either way, we're talking past 2028 for both of these things to happen. Yeah. So what that means is we've got a good 2 years of, false dawns, sideways action. You've seen what happened in the past bear market, which was here. It obviously wasn't stagnant. Yeah. Here's the drop. Here's the drop. Here's the sideways motion, pretty much like this. And then boom, we go to the next one. So you could say that it's perfect conditions for DeFi pools, liquidity pools. It's perfect conditions for this. And what it's perfect conditions for is accumulating more of your favorite crypto, earning off your favorite crypto, as opposed to just holding your favorite crypto, hoping that it's going to go up. I actually recorded a video today and it went through 5 ways to make crypto in 2026, starting with the most unlikely one. Yeah. And this was the most unlikely one. This one here. Right? And this goes for more new coins as well. We've also talked about this. These are all everything that is literally happening. Yeah. 3 types of crypto that do better in DeFi pools, do better in crypto in general. You type 1 cryptos, multiple bull runs. Yeah, we're talking about Solana here. Multiple bull runs, new all-time high was the last bull run, generally in top 100. Yeah. Type 2 crypto, chart looks terrible. All-time high was a long time ago, generally outside the top 100. Talked about multiverse X. There's so many coins like this. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a chart all-time high. Go look at Rave. What happened to that? Then you've got these launched probably the last couple of years, had 1 bull run. You've got your Caspers, you've got your Ketas, right? This is the biggest risk. I'm taking a risk personally by getting involved with a Kita pool because I don't know if it's going to do well in next bull run. I hope it does well. I believe it does well, but I don't know for sure. You know? So I'm taking a risk with that. But with ETH, I'm not. Because ETH new all-time high in the last bull run. And it's the same with a lot of coins. But I think the hardest thing for a lot of people is having too many type 2 cryptos. Yeah. There's so many from the past bull run before this. I get there's so many, like this one, Alluvium. Look at that. I'm trying to think of other ones than gaming tokens. You can literally go on here, go on page 2. Trump. That's a type 3 one. Trying to think which one from the old bull run. Zbeck. I think this was from the last bull run. No. Here we go, Floki. Oh, nearly all-time high. Proving me wrong, he's Floki. Was Jasmine around the last one? I can't remember. Optimism, here we go. No, that wasn't the last bull run. Here we go, GRT. Was that one from the last bull run? Yeah, there you go. All-time high, 5 years ago. Been dead since. A lot of these, to be fair, the reason I can't find them is they've gone so far down the market cap rankings that they've gone out of view. Here's another. Theta. Knew a few guys that had that. Dead. This one's an OG one. Neo. Telcoin. I actually remember that. Thorchain. How's this one doing? I remember this one. See, this had a lot of potential. Try coming back up here, to be fair. Mana is another one. There's so many gaming coins that we thought would do well, but gaming just did not happen. ApeCoin. Gala. Safe Pal, remember that one? Immutable X. 1 inch. See, there it is, EGLD. DX. This one I remember, actually. Yep. Tried coming back up. Nearly did it, to be fair. Synthetics. This was one that was available on Celsius back in the day. Dead. If you've got any what you want me to look at, let me know. Melania meme. Beam. Engine. See, these are all the these are all these gaming coins. Dead. Kusama, I remember this one. Dead. Zeta chain. Okay, that is dead. Ziquilla. Dead. Oh, I've still actually got some on here. Look at that. Down 1,200 quid. What a waste that was, eh? What a waste that was. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So to sum it up, guys, rather than sitting there doing nothing with your crypto, knowing that we've had the bull run go past, don't just sit and do nothing. Put your crypto to good use. If you want to join the group, book a call. If you want to learn more, keep joining the streams, ask questions, and that's it for me. So see you guys very soon. Peace.